Dana Carver stepped into Greenwood Mall for a quiet Saturday errand. To staffers, she looked like another black woman with a roomy bag. An easy target, guards Mercer and Dalton tightened their orbit, boots thudding. Then swaggering, Officer Jack Raines arrived, voice booming, law as theater and threat. None of them clocked the steel behind Dana's steady gaze. 22 years in uniform, a captain's bars earned by grit. They assumed she'd fold. They misread her. In a heartbeat, smug certainty would collide with consequence. Drop your location in the comments. Subscribe. Tomorrow's chapter hits harder. Sunlight spilled through Greenwood skylights, warm squares, sliding over polished tile. Captain Dana Carver moved with purpose, leather satchel swinging. After a week of briefings and budgets, buying a birthday gift for her niece, Jada, felt like air. Something sparkly, she murmured, scanning bright storefronts and window displays. The mall throbbed with weekend noise. Strollers, pretzel carts, teens by the fountain. Dana loosened her shoulders, letting the job recede. The calm lasted 8 minutes. A reflection in a glass display betrayed two tales. The tall guard, Mercer, spoke into his mic. Dalton watched, uneasy, eyes flicking. Dana's jaw set. After 2 decades, surveillance stood out like neon. She'd been shadowed in stores before. Familiarity didn't dull the bruise. "Copy!" Mercer practically broadcast. "Black female, brown leather bag, blue sweater, eyes on." Dana's fingers curled. The urge to confront surged, hot and immediate. She could flash her badge, blitz their faces with truth, make them squirm. Not today. Off duty, shopping for Jada. They wouldn't hijack this moment. She breathed, turned into Crystals, a high-end accessories boutique, vanilla sweetness in the air, soft jazz floating. Behind the counter, a blazer-starched manager. "Laura," her tag read, stiffening as Dana entered. "Can I help you?" The tone clipped, smile brittle. "Just browsing, thanks," Dana said evenly, heart thrumming. She moved to a case of charm bracelets, exactly what Jada had hinted about for months, delicate links catching light like tiny flashing fish. In the mirror behind the register, Laura tracked Dana's every shift. Outside, Mercer and Dalton pretended to consult a directory. "Those cases are locked," Laura announced loudly, suddenly beside Dana. "Only staff can remove items." "I know," Dana replied, eyes on the bracelets. "I'll ask when ready." Laura didn't budge. She inched closer, glancing at the bag Dana had saved months to buy. Suddenly it weighed like a provocation. "Actually," Dana said, straightening, "I'd like to see the silver one with the butterfly charm." Laura hesitated, keys rattling. Dana noticed the tremble in Laura's hands. Anxiety rolled off the manager. As if expecting Dana to grab the tray and bolt, the bracelet gleamed, delicate links, butterfly wings, studded with crystals. Dana smiled, imagining Jada's face lighting up. "I'll take—" "Excuse me," Laura cut in, voice sharpening. "I need to see inside your bag." The boutique went still. Even the jazz felt muted. Heat rose up Dana's neck as a heads turned. "Excuse me?" she asked, calm but edged. "A piece is missing," Laura said louder, emboldened as Mercer and Dalton entered. "I saw you slip something in." Dana's hands shook. Anger, not fear. "That's false," Dana said. "I touched only what you removed." "Ma'am, cooperate," Mercer ordered, palm on his radio. "Empty your bag on the counter." Dana drew herself taller, authority settling like armor. "No, I haven't stolen anything, and you lack probable cause to search my property." Dalton fidgeted behind Mercer. Laura flushed, pressing forward anyway. "Show us, or we call police." "This is harassment," Dana said, voice firm. "You've shadowed me since I walked in, targeting me because I'm black. I won't submit to humiliation." Mercer crowded closer, using bulk like a wedge. "Last chance," he warned. "Open it, or this gets complicated." Heart pounding, Dana kept her voice steady. "I'm not opening anything. No right, no cause, no evidence. Back off." Mercer grabbed his mic. "Code tenant Crystals, subject refusing, requesting police backup." Phones rose. Shoppers edged nearer. Laura wrung her hands, less sure now that things swelled. Dalton eyed the exits like an escape route. Dana didn't move. She'd faced armed suspects and bad cops, mall guards, and a prejudiced manager wouldn't break her. Purse at her side, she locked onto Mercer's stare, unblinking, resolute. "You're making a very large mistake," she said quietly. The tension hung, humming like a live wire, while they waited for backup. Neither side moved. Neither blinked. The air felt crowded with eyes. A solution existed, obvious, simple, but they kept marching toward spectacle, not truth or fairness. Before these accusations continue, Dana said evenly to Laura, "Let's review your cameras. They'll show I took nothing." Laura's certainty wobbled. "The cameras? Right there," Dana pointed at the ceiling dome. "And there, and there. Let's watch." Mercer didn't wait. He grabbed Dana's right arm hard. Dalton took her left, gentler, but complicit. "You were warned," Mercer growled. "Now you're interfering with security." Dana's training snapped into focus. She could break the holds in seconds. Escalation would only feed their script. She kept her voice loud, steady for the growing crowd's microphones. "I'm calmly asking to view footage that proves my innocence. That isn't interference. It's the obvious remedy." The doorway darkened as a broad-shouldered figure cut through onlookers. Officer Jack Rains strode in, badge bright, posture theatrical, face primed for dominance. Dana knew the reputation, complaints that crossed her desk, aggressive arrests, force escalations, black shoppers targeted. He skated consequences, courtesy of connections. "What have we got?" Rains boomed, hand resting on his gun, intimidation by stagecraft. Laura rushed him. "She won't let us check her bag for another one causing trouble." He cut her off, smirking. He locked on Dana like a challenge coin. "Same story, right?" "Officer," Dana kept professional. "This is a misunderstanding, easily solved by—" He grabbed her shoulder, slamming her against glass. Cases rattled. Shoppers gasped. Cold bit her cheek as Rains pinned her harder, breath hot, words venomous. "Don't tell me my job," he snarled. "Hands behind your back, now." "Excessive force," Dana said, voice steady over humiliation and fury. "I have rights. You're violating them." "Rights?" he chuckled, yanking her arms. "You've got the right to shut up while I add resisting." Cuffs ratcheted, punishingly tight. The crowd swelled. Phones everywhere, cameras drinking in each second. Some hissed disapproval, others whispered, stunned. Rains spun Dana, marching her toward the corridor. Every step required restraint. Anger banked, spine straight. She'd spent a career fighting this abuse. Now she was its public exhibit. The mall corridor stalled. People pressed to storefronts, recording a well-dressed black woman in cuffs. Dana lifted her chin, shoulders burning. "You're making a scene for nothing," Rains announced, playing to the lens. "Should have cooperated." They reached the side exit where his cruiser idled, sunlight harsh, unblinking, exposing everything. "Before we go further," Dana said, projecting to the crowd, "you should know something, officer." "Save it for booking," he snapped, yanking the door handle. "I'm Captain Dana Carver, 15th Precinct," she said, clear and controlled. "My badge is in my front pocket. You'd know that if you'd asked." The murmurs sharpened. People pushed closer, still filming. Rains's face flickered, then hardened into a jeer. "Sure you are. And I'm the commissioner." "Check the pocket," Dana said. "Left side." He hesitated, patted, froze at the familiar shape. He pulled out the shield. Sunlight gilded the truth. "Fake," he declared, but authority drained from his voice. Another charge, impersonating an officer. The crowd's reaction was instant. "She's a captain," someone shouted. "He cuffed a police captain for shopping," another added. Phones tilted in, intent and merciless. Rains gripped the badge, suddenly unsure, sweating. "Remove the cuffs," Dana said quietly, "before you sink deeper." "Could be fake," he muttered, hands trembling. "We'll verify at the station, and I'm stacking charges." "For what?" Dana asked, voice smooth, anger banked. "Shopping while black? Is that the procedure?" More phones appeared, live streams blooming. Red blotched his cheeks as miscalculation spread. Instead of stepping back, he muscled Dana toward the cruiser. "You're making it worse. Fake badge, resisting, interfering." The crowd's outrage rose, a single pulsing voice. Cuffed, Dana planted her feet. "Every second is recorded, officer. Each violation preserved. Choose wisely." The chant gathered strength, echoing down the pavement. "Let her go!" a voice from the back shouted. Dozens joined, phones lifted like torches, comments bubbling live. Reins shifted, still gripping Dana, uncertainty finally leaking through his posture. The usual intimidation routine was unraveling under relentless public scrutiny. "This is going viral," a teen announced, eyes locked on her screen. "Thousands of shares already." He cuffed a black police captain. Dana didn't move. She'd withstood worse. But being on this side of the cuffs reframed the playbook, sharpening every edge. Sirens absent, spectacle total, accountability unspooling online. Mall security supervisor sprinted out, face pale. Beside him, the mall's PR director, Paula West, clutched her phone, voice tight. The supervisor scanned everything: the furious crowd, the handcuffed captain, the panicking officer. "Internal Affairs is en route," Paula announced briskly. "Officer, maybe we move this inside." "There's nothing to move," Dana said, cutting through. "These cuffs come off now." Lens after lens stared back. Streams multiplied. Numbers spiked. "Look, 20,000 views," someone yelled. Paula edged closer, public smile cracking. "Officer Rains, given the circumstances." "I don't take orders from mall marketing," he snapped. A cruiser slid into the lot, lights spinning, siren still. Sergeant Ray Walker stepped out, weathered face neutral, eyes calculating. He'd worked with Dana for years. He knew her record. "Officer Rains," Walker called, casual on purpose. "Why is a police captain in cuffs?" Rains's grip finally slackened, uncertainty heavy. "Responding to a theft call," Rains said. "She claimed Captain—" "That's Captain Carver," Walker interrupted. "Your boss's boss." He gestured at the badge in Rains' hand. "It's real. Verify. Fast." The crowd quieted, watching clarity drop like a gavel. Rains fumbled keys, unlocking the cuffs, hands shaking. Dana rubbed her wrists, red grooves forming like proof. Tomorrow there'd be bruises, routine injuries turned receipts. Paula stepped forward, projecting sincerity to every camera. "Captain Carver, on behalf of Greenwood Mall, sincere apologies for this unfortunate situation. We strive to welcome all guests. Clearly, we failed you today." The spin creaked. "Ah, unfortunate situation," Dana echoed, blade sharp. "Is that what we're calling racial profiling and police brutality?" Paula flinched as a dozen phones captured her face. "We'll conduct a full investigation, review protocols." "Save it," Dana cut in. "Your cameras caught everything. Preserve the footage." Cheers and murmurs rose approvingly. Bystanders offered video, names, numbers, angles. While PR scrambled, Walker leaned toward Dana, speaking low. "You should know. Rains was on the radio before I arrived." Dana's mouth tightened. "Let me guess. Crafting his narrative." Walker nodded, grim. "He's already alleging you resisted, that you struck him. First story on paper becomes the official record," Walker murmured. Dana's fury surged, cold and focused. She'd watched this tactic frame citizens for years. Now they were deploying it on her. The crowd slowly thinned as mall management tried to restore normal. Dana gathered herself, set her jaw, left. The drive home felt dislocated, streets too familiar for a day this altered. Hands steady on the wheel, her mind tore through implications. Laptop booted in her home office. New mail pinged. Department header. Subject: Incident Report 2T123487. Rains's version painted her as combative, aggressive, the caricature weaponized. According to him, she struck out at officers, defied legitimate protocols. His report rehearsed a stereotype, the angry black woman script she'd fought her whole career. The email copied Internal Affairs, the chief's office, the union. Rains moved fast, aiming to concrete his narrative before truth complicated it. The kitchen clock edged past 7:30 when Carmen James arrived, wine in one hand, 15 years of friendship in her expression. As a defense attorney, Carmen smelled trouble early. "I ordered Chinese," Dana said, gesturing to take out. "Fuel up." Carmen slid out a folder, worry lining her forehead. "I read the report," Carmen said, voice weighted. "It's worse than I expected." They settled, hands moving by habit, plates, chopsticks, bottle open. "Lay it on me," Dana said, nudging sweet and sour chicken. "How bad?" Carmen took a slow sip. "It's designed to trigger internal affairs. He knows the levers. He's alleging you struck him, assault on an officer, hostile, aggressive, non-compliant. Guards will corroborate." "There are videos," Dana protested. "Dozens," Carmen agreed. "They'll call them incomplete, say context is missing. They'll fixate on your attitude. And we both know how the system treats black officers who push back." Dana's appetite evaporated. "So, what are my options?" "We fight," Carmen said. "Your record's immaculate. Videos help." She paused, careful. "If the department pushes his narrative, suspension pending investigation, maybe forced early retirement, not for shoplifting. For challenging the hierarchy," Dana finished, bitterness precise. "For making them look bad. For refusing humiliation," Carmen said softly. Truth settled heavy. Donna stood, staring out the window at her quiet street. "I could go public. The story's already everywhere. I could give interviews." Carmen winced. "Remember Captain Williams? Spoke out 3 years ago. He's guarding a warehouse now." "The machine makes examples," Carmen warned. "So I'm supposed to take it?" Dana asked, fists tightening. "Let lies rewrite my career?" "No," Carmen said. "We fight smart, gather evidence, build a case." She hesitated. "And Dana, this isn't just about you." "Explain," Dana said, turning back, pulse slow. Carmen opened her folder, fanning documents across the table. "Past year, I've defended 6 clients, black, arrested at or near Greenwood, charged with resisting or assaulting officers after filing harassment complaints." Dana scanned quickly, investigator's brain lighting up. "Same officers repeating?" "Rains in most," Carmen said. "Patterns unmistakable. Charges spike after complaints. Classic pressure play. Silencing tool," Carmen added. Dana felt the chill of a bigger apparatus. "How many cases?" "These are just mine," Carmen said. "Think about all the pleas from folks who couldn't fight. Think about fear." They kept working, connecting threads until near midnight. Sleep wouldn't come. Dana sat in the dark living room, laptop glow cold on her face. Social feeds erupted with the arrest videos, outrage braided with ugliness, supportive comments warring with racist sludge. A local news site amplified it. Black police captain arrested while shopping. Profiling or legitimate stop. Battle lines familiar. The phone buzzed. Unknown number. A text. "Back off, captain. You don't know what you're in." Local area code. Standard carrier. Threat careful, deniable, clearly intentional. Dana screenshotted, recorded time and date, tucked it into evidence. Another receipt for whatever storm was gathering. Fear knocked. Determination answered louder. Dawn split the blinds of Carmen's office when Dana arrived at 8 sharp. It was quiet, exactly why they'd planned this hour. "I've been up," Carmen said, desk smothered in folders. "It's bigger." Dana sat, coffee gripped. "Show me." Carmen built a grid across the desk, the pattern emerging like weather. "Each is a false arrest report from the last year. All black residents, most around Greenwood." "How many?" Dana asked. 47 confirmed. Carmen's mouth flattened. "And those are the fighters, the ones who found help." Dana's eyes moved, cop fast, repeating names. Raines, Martinez, Cooper. "Charges are always the same," Carmen said. "Resisting, assaulting an officer, disorderly conduct, charges that pit word against badge," Dana said. "Near impossible to beat." "Exactly," Carmen said, sliding a spreadsheet forward. 86% plead out, way above normal. Every deal includes probation. "Mandatory?" Dana asked. Carmen nodded. Through a private contractor, New Horizon Supervision. Dana arched a brow. Private probation? It's growing, Carmen said. Counties outsource to save money. Look at the fees. She passed another sheet. Monthly supervision, drug tests, electronic monitoring, thousands by the end. A debt trap, Dana muttered. Missed payments violate probation, back to jail. Fees mount, cycle spins. Dana stood, energy too tight to sit. I need internal files. There has to be a trail. Careful, Carmen warned. The threat wasn't random. I'm still a captain, Dana said. I can review arrests. She gathered her bag. They won't stop me doing my job. An hour later, she was at her desk. Eyes trailed her in the precinct, whispers evaporating when she passed. Raines's report had circulated. She ignored it. Fingers moved through databases, years of arrests, filters stacking, location Greenwood Mall, officers Raines, Martinez, Cooper, charges resisting. Numbers grew. Then a memo flashed and Dana froze mid-scroll, breath slowing. Partnership with New Horizon Supervision. CEO Randall Brown Greenwood, same family name as the mall. Digging deeper, she found financials. New Horizon, a subsidiary of Greenwood Holdings LLC, the mall's security firm, another subsidiary. Lines connected in plain language. Carmen texted, "Found something." Cases surge quarterly before mall earnings. Dana's mind snapped into a grim lattice. More arrests feed probation rolls. More probation means more fees. Security targets black shoppers. Local police create arrests on shaky grounds. Greenwood Holdings profits off the funnel. She printed key documents, slid them into her briefcase. Colleagues whispered louder. Let them. She had architecture now. The afternoon sun cut razor bright as Dana parked across from the mall. The glass facade gleamed, promising luxury, while masking extraction. Yesterday, this was humiliation stage. Today it was a machine's mouth. Guards at every entrance, radios in constant murmur. A young black mother clutched her purse, wary eyes trained. A teenage boy was tailed, the choreography identical to hers. The scale slammed into Dana. How long had this churned? How many lives derailed? How many families bled by fees? Profit dressed as security. She gripped the wheel, knuckles white. This isn't just about me, she whispered, vow forming, hardening. Paper stacks thudded onto her desk when a knock came. A young Latina stepped in, notebook ready. Captain Carver, I'm Mia Lopez, City Herald. Got a minute? Dana inhaled to deliver her standard no comment. But Mia's look, sharp, determined, landed. Close the door, Dana, Dana said. Mia sat, recorder poised, eyes unwavering. I followed the mall incident, Mia said, but I'm here because I've spent 6 months on Raines and private probation. Dana studied her. What have you got? Money trails, shells, suspicious timing. Sources go silent. Records vanish. Then your video hit. I knew this was my chance. Chance for what? Dana asked. To expose the machine, Mia said, eyes bright. I have banking records showing transfers from New Horizon to offshore accounts. Tax filings that don't square, but I need someone inside to connect dots. Dana hesitated. Journalists could burn or build. Mia's fire felt familiar. Dana 20 years earlier, unafraid. What's your angle? Dana asked. Truth, Mia said. A racist cop and corporate gears grinding black lives for profit. She swallowed. I grew up watching my parents harassed, targeted by predators. This isn't abstract. After a beat, Dana nodded. I can't be your official source, but I know people who will help. That's enough, Mia said, smiling for the first time. And I have something for you, too. Heard of the Justice Coalition? 2 hours later, they sat in a cramped community room. Reverend Martin Gray spread photographs across a folding table. 3 months' worth, he said. False arrests, same names, same harm. Teachers, activists, small business owners circled, stories tumbling, each one landing with a weight Dana felt in her ribs. We've documented everything, said Linda Chen, a local teacher. Videos, statements, medical records from Raines's rough-ups. Every complaint dies in review, added Jordan Wilkes, barbershop owner. Greenwood owns the board. Mia scribbled while Dana examined affidavits. Dozens, patterns consistent as fingerprints. False accusations, violent arrests. Pressure cooker, please. She's a single mom, Grace said, pointing. They claim she assaulted Rains during a traffic stop. She pays $300 a month for probation. Took another job to keep up. They said they'd push CPS if she fought, Linda whispered. Dana's hands clenched. Why didn't this surface sooner? Fear, Jordan said. Rains makes examples. Random stops. Surprise inspections. Kids hassled. But we kept records, Grace said, eyes on Dana. Waiting for someone with power to move. Mia lifted her head. With these affidavits and my financials, we can build a case, Mia said. The Herald will publish. It'll take a series, Dana cautioned. Greenwood has lawyers like armies. Then we'll write chapters, Mia replied. Follow every thread. They planned, weaving community evidence with money trails and procedure. Carefully, Dana warned, packing up. They won't fold without swinging. That's why we move fast, Mia said. Once the first story lands, others will speak. Night had fallen when Dana pulled into her driveway, the day's revelations nesting heavy. She'd seen rot before, but this scale shocked her. The porch light flickered as she reached the door. The mailbox bulged, envelopes spilling. No stamps, no returns, hand-delivered. Inside, she spread them across the table. Her fingers trembled as she opened the first. A crude, hanging figure, letters cut from magazines. Mind your business. Another, photos shadowing her through daily life. More letters, slurs scribbled, threats against family, pictures of Jada's school. Last envelope, a photo of Dana's arrest with crosshairs over her face. She sank into a chair, hate mail confetti surrounding her. They were trying to freeze her. They misjudged. If anything, the threats proved their fear. She gathered the letters, careful for prints and fibers, bagging them as evidence. Tomorrow, she'd loop Mia and the coalition, log the intimidation. Threats meant proximity to the nerve. They'd chosen a target who didn't scare easy. She filed, backed up, breathed slow until the room stopped spinning. Morning, the precinct hallway hummed as Dana carried the hate mail packet. She needed someone higher up on her side. Lieutenant Mark Hale's door stood open. He was sifting reports. Got a minute, Mark? Dana asked, knocking the frame. He looked up, easy smile. For you? Always, Captain. Close the door. Dana sat, reading his face. Their 15 years carried weight. He'd backed her promotion, defended her leadership. I need you to see this, she said, laying out the letters. His expression darkened. He paused on the crosshair's photo. Jesus, Dana, did you report it? To who? She asked, steady. This goes deeper than Rains and yesterday's circus, she said. I've been pulling threads. She tapped documents. False arrests, coerced pleas, a private probation racket feeding on it. Hale placed the letters down. That's a heavy allegation. I'm building proof, she said. Victim statements, questionable payments, and threats. Hale rubbed his temples, circling his desk. You know I've had your back, he said, but something this big shakes the building. It needs shaking, Dana said, voice iron. You've seen Rains. You've watched complaints disappear. This isn't a bad apple, it's a system. Hale stopped. Let me help. Quietly, he said. I'll put out feelers. See who else will talk. Relief pricked. Suspicion shadowed it. Thanks, Mark. I knew I could count on you. Always, he said, warm. Watch yourself, okay? Maybe stay with family. I'm not hiding, Dana replied. That's their goal. Stubborn, he smiled. At least let me assign a patrol unit past your house, he offered. I can handle myself, Dana said, gathering the letters. But thanks. It helps to know you're there. We look out for our own, Hale said. Keep me posted. The day blurred. Routine duties, quiet evidence gathering, duplicate caches. Too many records vanished when they threatened power. Near midnight, Dana headed home. The street was still, crickets stitching the warm air. The motion light flared. Then she saw it, spray painted across her sedan in angry red. Traitor. The paint ran in wet rivulets down the white finish. She froze, keys biting her palm. This wasn't random. She snapped photos, documenting angles, drips, reflections. Then the gouged message on the door caught her. "Keep your mouth shut, Captain." Only someone inside would know her rank. Only someone inside knew she was pulling threads. The circle tightened, suddenly personal. She replayed conversations Mia, the Coalition, Carmen, Hale. Hale had offered to feel around, asked who knew what. "Damn," she whispered. She'd handed him names, evidence, context. If he was aligned with Rains, she'd just mapped her operation for them. She steadied herself, stepped inside, locked every bolt. Dana dropped into a chair, staring at her badge on the table. The gold shield cast slanted light, throwing long shadows. 20 years of faith in the emblem, defending the institution, promising change from within. Now the doubt crawled everywhere. How deep did the rot run? Was there anything worth saving? She replayed conversations Mia, the Coalition, Carmen, Hale. Hale had offered to feel around, asked who knew what. "Damn," she whispered. She'd handed him names, evidence, context. If he was aligned with Rains, she'd just mapped her operation for them. She steadied herself, stepped inside, locked every bolt. Dana dropped into a chair, staring at her badge on the table. The gold shield cast slanted light, throwing long shadows. 20 years of faith in the emblem, defending the institution, promising change from within. Now the doubt crawled everywhere. How deep did the rot run? Was there anything worth saving? The shield blurred as rage and betrayal stung. She blinked hard. No time for pity. Decide. Trust no one inside. Document everything. Keep redundancies. Build quietly until the case was bulletproof. The vandalism clarified the stakes. She was alone inside the building. Outside, she was no longer alone at all. Morning buzzed her phone. Mia. "Need to meet. Big break. Same spot." 20 minutes later, Dana sat in Jerry's diner, coffee turning cold. The bell chimed. Mia slid into the booth, messenger bag clutched. "Sorry, worth it," she said, scanning the room. She pulled a manila envelope under the table. "Remember my mall source?" Mia whispered. "They delivered." She nudged the envelope across. Dana opened it. Pages on corporate letterhead. Her breath hitched. "Internal board memos," Mia said. 18 months back. "Page 3, she added. Dana flipped and watched euphemism translate into orders, the mask slipping cleanly. Loss prevention, initiatives, glossy language covering targeted sweeps. Staff were instructed to focus on high-risk demographics, profiling and executive code. Quotes from meetings mapped coordination with police to maximize enforcement opportunities. "They worked with Rains directly," Mia said, tapping a highlight. "Security bonuses tied to arrest numbers. They knew exactly what they built." Dana read on, bile rising. Arrest pipelines fed private probation. The memo named New Horizon Supervision as the compliance partner, fees projected like revenue streams. Greenwood Holdings, parent of both probation and security, reaped returns. The machine was closed-loop profit. "It's all here," Mia said. "Their words, their signatures." Reverend Gray's coalition added a folder of affidavits to Mia's documents, dates aligning with memo milestones, hiring surges, efficiency targets, arrest spikes following leadership reviews. "Everything matches," Linda said. Jordan pointed at a calendar. Quarter-end sweeps line up with earnings calls. The strategy wasn't a rumor. It was policy, executed. "We time publication with filings," Mia said. "Make them answer to shareholders on day one." "Careful," Dana replied. "They'll come hard." "Hard's already here," Jordan said. "We're past fear." Dana breathed, weighing risk. "We need redundant archives, safe sources, legal review." Carmen texted, "Count me in, privileged channel." They split tasks, Mia drafting, Carmen lawyering, the coalition gathering sworn statements. Dana would detail procedure violations, what policy required, what Rains ignored. "We also need the camera footage from Crystals," Dana said. "Subpoena or cooperative request?" "Both," Carmen messaged. "Ask nicely, prepare to compel." The plan tightened, disciplined. The meeting broke. Dana drove home, tension braided with purpose. She parked, scanned the street, went inside. She reset her hiding spots, stashed duplicates at a neighbor's, hardened passwords, air-gapped a drive. Then she slept in clothes, light on, phone on loud, shoes by the bed, routine recalibrated by threat. Morning brought a new envelope, no stamp, slid under the door. Inside a single phrase on printer paper, "We see you." She photographed, bagged, logged. She texted Mia and Carmen, no details by phone. They shifted to in-person, analog. Dana poured coffee, swallowed the metallic taste of adrenaline, rechecked locks. That afternoon, she returned to the precinct. Movement small, face unreadable. She archived case files to a secure thumb drive, encrypted 3 ways, stashed one in her boot. The bullpen noise sounded normal, paper, phones, jokes, but the vibe was off. Smiles lingered too long. Whispers cropped as she passed. Back home, the mailbox overflowed again, this time with neighborhood flyers and one thick envelope. Inside, printouts of her social posts, a few family photos pulled from old tags, a screenshot of Jada's school map. She logged it, filed it. Threat math was changing. In response, her resolution calcified further. She called Jada's mother, kept it light but direct. Extra pickup precautions, code words, no unscheduled rides. She called 2 trusted neighbors, asked for eyes. She briefed Mia and Carmen, never names aloud, only initials. When fear rose, she pressed it flat with work. The plan grew teeth and backups. Next day, Dana carried the hate mail evidence packet to Hale. "We should talk," she said. He scanned the latest. Anger flashed, then something Dana couldn't place. "You're escalating with receipts," he said. "That's the idea," she replied. "I'm filing a formal complaint, copying internal affairs and counsel. Strategically, you could hold a beat," Hale suggested. "Give friendly folks time to rally." "Friendly folks can move while paper moves," Dana said. "Delay helps them, not me." Hale nodded slowly. "Understood." He returned the packet. "Be careful, Dana." "Always," she said, leaving. Antennae humming, suspicion unresolved. The afternoon dragged, paperwork and small fires. At day's end, she printed 2 more bundles, financial ties, memo excerpts, arrest logs, walked them to 2 different safe hands. Night, she circled the block twice before parking. Nothing obvious. Inside, she ate standing, answered nothing online, and chiseled at statements. Carmen pinged a secure rendezvous. In person, Carmen slid over a draft complaint naming Raines, Martinez, Cooper, and Greenwood Holdings. "We focus on pattern, profit, and policy," Carmen said. "We'll append affidavits as they're sworn." "We'll trigger a fight," Dana said. "Good," Carmen replied. "That's the point." They debated venue, county or federal. "Civil rights claims fit federal," Carmen said, "but local pressure matters." "We do both," Dana decided. "Parallel tracks." Mia stepped in with a preliminary timeline, publishing in waves, memo, arrests, probation profits, then enforcement failures. "Each piece corroborates the last," Mia said. "Cumulative weight." Back home, Dana's phone buzzed again. Unknown number. "Last warning," the text read. "Careers end fast." She documented, blocked, breathed. She wrote her narrative of the mall incident while details were razor fresh, every word measured, every timestamp pinned. When the official record twisted, hers would anchor truth. She included where Raines's hands landed, angles of force, words said, who stood where, even the scent of vanilla in crystals. She layered policy references, search requirements, probable cause thresholds, use of force continuum. She added the obvious solution she'd proposed, camera review, and underlined their refusal. Facts armored with procedure. Near midnight, she exported encrypted files, checked hashes, mailed a sealed copy to her sister's P.O. box. She set a dead man's switch with Mia. If Dana missed 2 check-ins, a packet deployed. She put the badge beside the keyboard, turned off the lamp, and let the computer's glow be her lighthouse. Sleep came fitful, fractured by footsteps that weren't there. At 4 a.m., a car idled outside, then eased away. Dana didn't peek through curtains. She logged time and sound, then breathed until her heartbeat slowed. Morning finally came, gray and thin. Coffee, shower, ironed blouse, notes packed, spine squared. She met Mia and Carmen at a downtown office with frosted glass and a cautious receptionist. "We're filing the federal complaint today," Carmen said. "Preview to the Herald after court stamp?" Mia nodded. "We have corroboration lined up. The coalition will go on record." Dana exhaled. "Then we move." By noon, stamped copies existed, inked seals, file numbers, a case born. Carmen handed a set to Dana. "They'll come harder now," Carmen said. "We've moved from whisper to lawsuit." "Let them come," Dana replied. "We've got receipts." Mia's phone buzzed. "Board memos verified by second source," she grinned. Dana drove home, a patrol car idling half a block down. She didn't wave. She didn't slow. Inside, she placed the complaint beside her badge. Outside, the world continued its errands. Inside, a storm tightened focus. She ate an apple, wrote another affidavit request, and checked the diner meeting time. Dusk painted the street when Dana heard footsteps on the porch, then retreat. She waited, 3 breaths, then opened the door. A small box sat centered like a dare. She photographed, gloved up, lifted the lid. Inside, a blank flash drive and a note. "You want the truth? Look deeper. Mall logs." She bagged everything, air-gapped a laptop, scanned the drive offline. A folder bloomed. Shift schedules, incident logs, internal chats. Phrases repeated. Metrics, conversion, high risk, assist R, a subfolder, Q4 push. Dana's throat tightened. Names she recognized. Times matching affidavits. A message from RJG, Greenwood Scion initials. "We need numbers before the call," RJG wrote. "Loss prevention conversions lag." The reply, "LP will coordinate with R. The team understands the focus." Dana stared at the screen. The machine wasn't sloppy. It was proud. She copied, hashed, printed key pages, and added them to the growing cathedral of proof. She closed the files, rebagged the drive, locked it in a safe, then hid the safe. She texted Mia one word, "Delivered." Mia replied, "Tomorrow." Dana looked at the badge again, gold winking. Maybe the emblem could still mean something if the truth dragged sunlight into the rot and held it there, relentless. "Morning," Mia texted. "Need to meet. Bigger break. Usual." Dana slid into the diner booth, ordered coffee she wouldn't drink. Mia rushed in, eyes scanning, messenger bag under the table. "Sorry, you're about to flip," she said, producing another envelope. "Our mall source risked a job for this. It's explosive." Inside, more board memos. 18 months, Mia repeated. "Turn to page 3. Dana read corporate code translating into open season on demographics deemed loss drivers. Coordination with local police spelled out as maximizing enforcement opportunities. An approval line item. Security bonuses tied to arrests. It wasn't implication anymore. It was instruction. They were working with Rains in real time, Mia said, finger on a highlighted section. Names, dates, bonus thresholds. They calibrated, then collected. They projected revenue from probation fees like a retail category. Dana's hands trembled. Anger. Vindication. "We publish," she said. "We preserve. We prosecute." Mia nodded, jaw set. Dana turned the page. The memo mapped the loop. Arrests feed probation. Probation monetizes supervision. Missed payments trigger violations. Violations increase custody days. Custody days justify more loss prevention collaboration. Greenwood Holdings sat atop each rung. "They wrote the playbook," Dana whispered, "and then they paid themselves to run it." The document named the compliance partner outright, New Horizons Supervision, designated as the downstream revenue capture. Meetings quoted board members celebrating efficiency gains from targeted sweeps. The memos even suggested seasonal pushes, time to quarterly reports. Greenwood's ecosystem devoured people neatly, profitably, and now with names, signatures, timestamps, it could finally be dismantled. "The parent company holds controlling shares," Mia said, tapping the header. Dana, 46 steel-backed exhaled. The whole pipeline. It wasn't passive profiling. It was an incentive engine, monetized bias. Every bogus arrest pushes another person into their probation racket, Mia added, voice flat with anger and certainty. Monthly fees, mandatory classes, ankle monitors, money cycles right back to the same corporate tree, Mia continued. Where'd this come from? Dana asked, sliding the papers into the envelope. Accounting Insider, Mia said. Been compiling for months, waiting for heat. Your arrest going viral flipped the switch. Dana leaned back, mind sprinting. This was the connective tissue, hard proof of police corporate coordination, intent to target black shoppers. No more bad apple shrug. We guard this, she said, firm, and protect your source. Already staged, Mia replied. Redundant backups, off-site copies, names compartmentalized. Dana tucked the envelope under her jacket. I'll scan tonight, make encrypted mirrors, but after my car, no mistakes. You think someone inside is working their side? Mia asked. Not think. No, Dana said, voice cooling. Lieutenant Hale. I trusted him, told him everything. Hours later, my hood screamed, traitor. Mia's expression hardened. Then it's just us until we publish. No one else hears about these memos. Agreed, Dana said, checking her watch. I need to move this somewhere safe. Then we plan. They split outside the diner, Mia beelining for the newsroom, Dana driving home with the envelope pressed against her ribs. Her father's oak desk waited in the study, solid as a vow. Dana knelt, slid open the bottom drawer, thumbed the hidden catch. She set the manila inside, closed it, turned the small brass key that hung on a chain at her throat. Hope, unexpected, slipped in. Proof. Finally, not just affidavits and fragments, but signatures and timelines, a conspiracy documented by its own architects. She cooked a simple dinner and actually tasted it, then checked camera feeds. Quiet street, no idling sedans, no ghosts. For once, night felt like night, not crosshairs inching closer. Brushing her teeth, Dana let herself imagine the aftermath. Press lights, mics, the polished faces of executives and their pet officer realizing receipts existed. Victims finally hearing case dismissed instead of sign here. She locked the drawer again, touched the key, and let sleep come without wrestling it down. Tomorrow meant strategy. Tonight meant rest, with the knowledge they'd cracked the vault. The memo was a crowbar for the whole machine. Dana turned off the lamp, house settling into familiar creaks and hums. For the first time in weeks, dreams weren't just reruns of the mall's cold glass. Dawn came with energy she hadn't felt in days. Coffee steaming. She texted Mia, ready to map next steps. No reply. Odd. Mia replied fast, always. An hour slid past. Nothing. Dana called. Voicemail. She left an even-toned message that didn't match the quickening in her chest. By noon, worry gnawed. 3 texts sent, 2 calls made. Silence. Then a push alert bled across her lock screen. Her mug shattered against tile as the headline loaded. Local investigative reporter hospitalized after brutal assault. The photo resolved. Mia! Dana grabbed her keys, pulse spiking hard. Metro General crawled under harsh light and slow elevators. Press clustered in the lobby. Dana flashed her badge. Mia Vega's room, she said. Are you family? The receptionist asked. Police captain. She's a witness. A clean lie necessary. Room 412. The elevator took lifetimes between floors. Guilt rode with her. She should have anticipated this, should have staged a shadow, a ride-along, anything. Room 412 stood open. Mia lay bruised, left arm casted, eyes lit anyway. You look wrecked, Mia rasped. Dana huffed. You're literally in a gown. You should see the pavement, Mia grimaced, grin half there. What happened? Dana asked, sitting. Walked to my car after deadline, Mia said. Grabbed from behind, efficient, hurt without killing. Dana's hands nodded. Faces. Better, Mia whispered, glancing at the door. When he threw me down, his jacket rode up. Chrome flashed. The room shrank. Air thinned. A badge? Department issue, Mia breathed. Same silhouette as yours. The confirmation landed like a baton to the sternum. One of theirs. Hallway familiar. Knows the corners. I'm sorry, Dana said. Useless words. Heat behind them. Don't, Mia said, squeezing Dana's wrist. It means we're close. They're rattled. They should be scared of me now, Dana said, anger settling into purpose. Good, Mia said, because I'm not quitting, and neither are you. A nurse leaned in. Ms. Vega needs rest. 5 minutes, Mia pleaded. The nurse frowned, nodded once. Privacy returned like a soft-closed door. The memo's safe? Mia asked. Locked at home. I'll start copies today. Do, Mia said, because this, she gestured at her bruises, means we're inside their perimeter. Dana stood. I'll check tomorrow. Be careful. You too, Mia called. They know we've got something. Move like they're watching. Sunset painted the road orange while Dana replayed the word. Badge. Someone she passed daily. Someone who nodded at roll call. Betrayal burned like acid. She parked and felt the wrongness before the key turned. The lock was fine. Everything else off. She drew her off-duty, entered low and slow. Living room intact. Kitchen clean. The study door ajar. A tell. She pushed it open. Books torn. Papers flung. Her father's desk chewed open. Lock splintered. Dana knew the answer before she lunged for the hidden panel. The compartment yawned emptily. The envelope, the memos, gone like a throat cut clean. She sat hard, the absence howling. Proof ripped away. Faces flashed, Mia battered and stubborn, families who'd whispered, we believe you. Everyone depending on receipts nobody could argue down. Her phone buzzed, unknown, 3 words. Next time, not the reporter. Fury steadied her hands. She dialed 911 anyway. A report would be filed. A shrug would follow. The system protects itself. Dana cataloged everything, photographed splinters, angles, footprints maybe. When the patrol car finally rolled up, she was already braced for the ritual. We'll take this down, the officer said. We'll be in touch. Sure. Eventually, never. Alone again, she stared at the wrecked oak. They'd stolen paper, not momentum. They couldn't steal Mia's cloud, or the coalition's affidavits, or Tiana's camera. She started sweeping the chaos into piles, stays, scans, shredder. The plan shifted, but the direction forward held like a line in concrete. Morning dropped a pale envelope through her mail slot. Internal affairs summons, creamstock, heavy words. Immediate suspension pending investigation. Her phone wouldn't shut up. Troubled captain claims conspiracy. Sources, officer unstable. Vendetta against mall security raises questions. She clicked one, jaw grinding. Anonymous colleagues called her erratic, vindictive. Lies, she muttered, closing the window. But damage seeds quickly. Another unknown text. Hope you die, pig. Variations stacked behind it. Some creative, most crude. Noon looked like dusk with the blinds yanked tight. She'd already swept for bugs, checked windows twice. Paranoia or survival? Yes. The TV droned until she killed it mid-panel. Unfounded, the pundit smiled, citing personal grievance. Her badge and duty weapon lay on the coffee table, surrendered that morning to IA's clerk, who didn't meet her eye. 2 decades boiled down to metal and policy. The sight curdled something deep. Her sister called. Voicemail caught it. What could Dana say? That she was fine? That this would untangle? Words would break. She paced the apartment, feeling the walls flex inward, every vent a watching eye, every floorboard a whisper. Helicopter thumped overhead. Cameras wanted the troubled captain shot. She stayed ghosted behind blinds. The morning after the break-in, Dana sat at her kitchen table staring at internal affairs, cream-colored summons. Immediate suspension pending investigation. Her phone spasmed with alerts. Headlines framed her as erratic, vindictive, conspiratorial. A narrative machine revved to smear her before she could even catch breath. She tapped a link. Anonymous colleagues described her as unstable. She closed the window, tasting metal. Another text pinged from an unknown number. Hope you die, pig. She pulled the blinds tighter, though sunlight barely bled through. Paranoid, maybe. Sensible, definitely. After Mia's attack and the burglary, vigilance wasn't optional. The TV droned with panel talk polishing doubt into balance. Unfounded claims, the anchor intoned, possibly personal grievance. Dana killed the screen, heartbeat climbing. On the coffee table, her badge and gun lay like relics, surrendered hours earlier to an IA clerk who never met her eyes. 2 decades compressed into a rectangle of metal and an empty holster. Her sister called. Voicemail caught it. What could Dana say? That she was fine? That everything would miraculously reset? The words would choke. She paced, counting door locks, checking vents, listening to plumbing like it might whisper threats. Helicopter rotors chuffed overhead, likely thirsty for a troubled captain glimpse. She stayed inside the blinds, invisible as a rumor, the inbox stacked with messages, union emails hedging, a supervisor's deeply disappointed, an anonymous, should have shut up. She slammed the laptop closed, breath jagged, eyes stinging but refusing tears. The doorbell rang, jolting her. She peered through the peephole. Kayla, backpack slung, concern stamped on her face. Dana yanked the door open and pulled her niece inside. You should be in school, she said reflexively. Half day, Kayla said, hugging hard. And I needed to see you, Auntie. Dana stiffened, then softened into the embrace she hadn't known she required. Mom's worried, Kayla said. She keeps calling. I can't talk right now, Dana admitted. Too many fires. You mean the lies? Kayla's jaw set. We know they're lies. She flashed her phone. Look at this, Auntie. The viral clip played. Dana shoved against glass, Rain's posturing, the crowd filming. Dana tried to look away. No, check the number. 5.2 million views. Comments scrolled. This is systemic racism. Stand with Captain Carver. It's not just that, Kayla said, scrolling again. People are sharing their own stories. A swelling group page flashed. Thousands joined. Accounts of harassment, false arrests, coercive pleas, ankle monitors. See? Kayla squeezed Dana's hand. You're not alone or crazy. You're the one brave enough to stand up. For the first time in days, hope flickered, small and steady, refusing to blow out. Dana managed a smile. When did you get so wise? I learned from the best, Kayla said, hugging again. You always said stand up for what's right. Hours later, heat shimmered on Greenwood Mall's asphalt while a crowd swelled. Dana tucked under a cap and watched the protest ignite. Justice for Carver! The chant surged, signs bobbing. Stop profiling, end corruption. We stand with Captain Carver. Strangers linked arms. Shoppers rerouted. Behind glass, new security shifted. Radios crackling. Patrol officers lingered uncertainly at the perimeter. No one clocked Donna in the sea of voices and cardboard. An elder in a BLM cap brushed Dana's arm. They thought they'd mute you, she said, voice bright. We're your amplification now. Dana nodded, throat tight. The woman drifted away, never realizing she'd encouraged the very person she hailed. Near the front, teens sparked a chant, show the truth, catchy, relentless. Captain Carver? A quiet voice asked. Dana turned. A black teen stood clutching her phone. I'm Tiana Brooks, she said quickly. I recorded your arrest. Dana exhaled gratitude. Thank you, your video unlocked doors. Tiana glanced around. Not all of it, she whispered. I have pre-incident footage too. She pulled Dana aside, opened her camera roll. The clip hit play, 5 minutes before the confrontation. Rain strode in, purposeful. He leaned into the boutique doorway, whispered to the manager, Laura, whose face hardened mid-sentence. Then he stepped away, waiting. Less than a minute later, Dana entered frame. He staged it, Dana breathed, preloaded the script. Tiana nodded, relief and anger mixing. He did it to my cousin last month. Nobody believed us. I started recording the second I saw him. I was scared to post this part, but not anymore. Not with everyone here today. And this kills their suspicious behavior claim, Dana said. It's premeditated. I've got more, Tiana added. I run an accountability channel. People send me clips. Rains repeats this play. Always here, always black shoppers. The crowd shifted into no justice, no peace. Phones rose like constellations burning with purpose. My followers can blast this everywhere, Tiana said, but it needs a voice, yours. Folks trust you. You show even black officers aren't safe. Dana saw the lattice forming, unedited footage, witness statements Mia compiled, money trails, a volunteer army of young signal boosters. They can't silence everybody, Tiana said. A news van screeched curbside. A reporter hustled with a mic, cameraman jogging. The crowd surged, hungry to speak. Dana's heart hammered. Evidence now existed, real, undeniable, and so did witnesses and momentum. What do you want to do, Captain? Tiana asked, thumb hovering over upload like a detonator. Hours later, Metro General's fluorescent wash cut hard lines across Mia's face, cast bruises, fire still burning. You should be resting, Dana said, gladness and guilt braided. Rest later, Mia grunted. Listen, remember I said the attacker flashed a badge? He slipped too. Dana leaned in, wary and alert. He grabbed my phone, Mia said. Didn't know the backup automation would wake the second it powered. It started syncing to my cloud. Dana blinked. So? So his device paired for a moment. Surprise data party. Mia opened a folder. Guess whose phone? She turned the screen. Officer James Martinez, Raines's partner. Dana's stomach dropped. Files cascaded, spreadsheets, bank statements, emails. Every payment from Greenwood Holdings to New Horizon, Mia said. Kickbacks to officials who greased contracts. Dates match arrest spikes. Dana scrolled, emails between Raines and Charles Wilson, the mall CEO, cold quota talk, target demographics, conversion metrics. Another thread. Judge Harold Harrison discussing expedited pleas. They weren't hiding, Dana said, angry amazement coloring her tone. They assumed no one would ever see. There's more, Mia said, eyes fierce. That memo that vanished, copies in Martinez's sent items, break-in likely his on Raines's say-so, the shape fully revealed, beyond profiling, into systemic extraction. We need the right stage, Mia said, one they can't mute. Dana checked the city calendar. Council meeting, Thursday night, public forum, cameras guaranteed. Mia's mouth curled. Perfect. We dropped the unedited arrest video an hour before. While they scramble, Mia continued, you take the podium. Lead with what they did to you. Weed into pattern. End with the money trail. Dana pictured it, Raines, Wilson, complicit council members lined up like bowling pins. We'll need meticulous sequencing, Dana said. Policy citations, law references, clean exhibits. Mia spun her laptop. A skeleton deck waited, sections labeled incident, pattern, pipeline, profit, remedies. We'll polish your remarks, she said. Hit moral clarity and procedural failures. They'll come hard, Dana warned. They already tried, Mia said, touching her bruised face. And I'm still here. Dana squeezed her hand. I'll post officers I trust at your door. That evening, mirror lights framed Dana's reflection. Index cards in hand, she practiced. My name is Captain Dana Carver, she said, voice from her diaphragm. 2 weeks ago, I was falsely arrested while shopping, but this isn't a one-off. She paused, seeing Kayla's fierce eyes, Tiana's steady phone, the chant rising like a drumline. This is a criminal enterprise operating behind badges and balance sheets, she said to the mirror. She laid out her sharpest suit, polished shoes, slid the badge inside the blazer. Thursday was a cliff edge. This stops now, she told the face looking back, lines cut deeper by weeks of pressure but eyes steady. She repeated her opening until breath and cadence locked. She slept with the badge on the nightstand, the speech on the chair, and a single thought looping, we don't walk this alone. City Hall hummed. Marble caught echoes. Cameras jockeyed near the chamber doors. Inside, every seat packed. People pressed along walls, spilling into the hall. Dana slipped in, wearing civilian clothes, badge pinned inside. She clocked Raines, joking with Wilson. Arrogance looked different under fluorescent honesty. The mayor dabbed sweat and checked his phone. Council members shifted, the room wired tight. Dana queued behind citizens awaiting their 3 minutes. She watched the clock. Any second, Tiana's full video would detonate across timelines. A wave rippled, screens lit, whispers spread. Rains' smirk faltered as people turned screens toward him. "Next speaker," the mayor said, voice thin. Dana approached the mic, head swiveled, whispers sharpened, Rains straightened. "My name is Captain Dana Carver," she said, voice filling the chamber. 2 weeks ago, I was falsely arrested while shopping. This is not an isolated event. This is architecture." She fanned documents across the podium. Internal communications between mall executives and officers discuss arrest quotas and targeted demographics. Murmurs surged. Financial records show payments from Greenwood Holdings to New Horizons Supervision Services. Wilson typed furiously. "Captain," the mayor cut in, "this forum is for community concerns, not baseless accusations," Dana said louder. "These are documented, including emails between Officer Jack Rains and Judge Harrison about expediting pleas." She turned to Rains. "The same Rains who cuffed me and filed false reports claiming I assaulted him." Color drained, then flashed in his face. He half rose. Wilson tugged him down. "When I started investigating," Dana continued, "I was suspended. A journalist helping me was attacked by an officer." She held up a thumb drive. "Who accidentally uploaded evidence proving this scheme." The room tipped forward, cameras drinking every syllable. Notifications chimed like rain as live posts proliferated. "This apparatus has crushed lives," Dana said. "Hundreds coerced into pleas they couldn't fight, then fined into surveillance and debt so a private company could profit. You've seen the video. That's the flashpoint. The system behind it is the fire." She met the council's eyes, one by one, unblinking. "I have statements from victims. I have proof of kickbacks. I have—" "Enough!" Rains exploded, storming the aisle, hand drifting toward his hip by habit. "You're under arrest for defamation, for interfering." The crowd surged, a tide of bodies and black rectangles filming. 2 uniforms slid in front of him. "Stand down, Rains," Officer Chen said. Rodriguez flanked her. "Out of the way," Rains snapped it. "That's an order." "We don't take orders from you," Rodriguez replied evenly. More uniforms rose from the seats, quiet allies forming a line. The chamber roared. A chant punched upward. "Justice! Justice! Justice!" Rains backed a step, confusion tearing at his certainty. Wilson angled toward the side exit. The mayor pounded a gavel, then another, sound swallowed by the crowd. The chant kept swelling, rolling like thunder down plastered walls. Dana stood still at the mic, calm spreading ribbon-like through her chest. State Attorney Patricia Walsh pushed through the commotion, jaw set. She'd sat in back, taking it in. "Captain Carver," she projected, "I need every document, now." Dana stacked the folder carefully, financials Mia recovered from Martinez, memos, statements, timestamps, and placed it in Walsh's hands. "Money trail spans 3 years. Shell companies tied to Greenwood," Dana said. "Offshore routes into Judge Harrison's foundation. Payments to New Horizon, owned by Councilman Peters' brother-in-law." Walsh's eyes widened. Her thumbs flew across her phone. "My team is inbound. Nobody leaves," she said, turning to the room like a command. The mayor tried again. "We'll launch an independent—" "The state is already taking this," Walsh snapped. "Your cooperation is mandatory." Investigators poured in, dark suits, measured steps, exits sealed, phones cataloged, names taken. Wilson tried to disappear with a cluster. An investigator cut him off. "Stay, Mr. Wilson." Near the dais, Rodriguez approached Rains with cuffs in hand. Something in Rains crumpled and flared at once. "You can't cuff me," he hissed. "I've got 20 years. I am you." "Turn around, Jack," Rodriguez said, quiet, human. "Don't add charges." For a beat, fight crackled. Then it died. Shoulders sagged. Rodriguez read rights as metal clicked. Rains never looked away from Dana. Hatred sharp as glass. She didn't flinch. After too many years averting eyes from rot, She watched this part. Council members paled. Some bolted for the side door and met badges, clipboards, sealed evidence bags instead. The mayor tugged at authority like an ill-fitting suit. "We'll support—" "You'll comply," Walsh said. The crowd shifted from chanting to documenting. Live feeds bloomed, captions climbing. Investigators taped doors, boxed towers, mirrored drives. The architecture that had bruised so many finally faced something it couldn't shove aside. "Captain," Chen said softly, touching Dana's sleeve, "there's a crowd outside waiting to hear you." Exhaustion hit like gravity dropping. Adrenaline thinned, leaving bone-deep weariness. "One more step," Dana whispered to herself. She pushed through, shaking hands and rapid questions, taking gratitude with nods, letting it land. Maya caught her eye, lifting a casted arm with a thumbs up. Tiana's grin was bright. Upload bar at 99. The heavy doors opened to warm night. Steps thronged with people holding signs like lanterns. A cheer rose that felt like scaffolding, assembling under Dana's ribs. "Captain Carver! Captain Carver!" She stood at the top landing, looking out over faces, black, white, old, young, swept under one demand. Some cried, strangers hugged, parents hoisted children to see better. The weight she'd carried alone for weeks eased, redistributed across shoulders that showed up. Truth had oxygen, justice had momentum. "I thank you," Dana called, voice amplified by hand and echo. "This is yours as much as mine." The chant softened to a hush. "We will keep receipts safe. We will protect witnesses. We will name names, and we will fix policy so this never blooms here again." Applause rolled like a front. 3 days later, Greenwood Mall echoed. Footsteps skittered across tile where bustle used to swallow sound. Yellow tape X'd certain doors. Investigation placards hung where sales signs had glowed. Dana walked the main corridor in uniform, visible, undeniable, not out of vanity, out of clarity. They would recognize her now. Fewer shoppers than staff remained. Some stores shuttered, others occupied by more employees than customers. Under new management, windows promised. Temporarily closed pending review, others read. A young mother pushed a stroller, stopped, and smiled wide. "Captain Carver, thank you." Warmth lit Dana's chest. Others drifted over, careful, grateful. An elderly man's hand trembled in hers. "My grandson took a plea last year," he said. "They're reviewing it now because of you. Because of all of us," she said, squeezing lightly. A respectful tale formed, a moving island of soft claps, nods, relief. New guards, fresh hires, straightened and saluted as she passed. Near the fountain, a teen cluster whispered, eyes bright. One stepped forward, awkward courage in her shoulders. "Captain, a picture?" she asked. "We did a civics presentation about you. You're our hero." Dana laughed, honored and a little overwhelmed. Camera clicks fluttered. She remembered being their age, hungry for examples. "Don't let anyone shrink you," Dana told them. "Stand up, even when your knees shake." She saw Kayla near the boutique where it began. "Weird being back," Kayla said, hugging quick. "Good weird or bad weird?" "Good," Kayla smiled. "They replaced the staff." The old manager investigated for targeting shoppers. Inside, the lights hummed softer than memory. New clerks greeted them like honored guests. "Captain Carver, anything you need," the cashier said, earnest. Dana and Kayla browsed peacefully for the first time. The cases glittered like they should have that first day, just ornaments, not triggers. Relief felt almost ceremonial. "Can't believe it took 3 weeks to buy your birthday gift," Dana said, fingers landing on a silver pendant, wings poised mid-flight. "Worth it," Kayla said, squeezing her arm. "What you did changed things." "We changed things," Dana corrected. At checkout, the cashier wrapped carefully, then added a smaller box. "A gift," she said, eyes bright, "to apologize." Dana started to refuse. The sincerity stopped her. "Thank you," she said, humbled. Outside, people gathered, forming a gentle gauntlet. An older woman pressed cookies into Dana's hands. A suit thanked her for dismantling rot. Parents pointed. That's the captain who stood up. The line thickened as they approached the doors. Someone began clapping. Others joined, the sound expanding until it filled the atrium and spilled into the lot. Kayla squeezed Dana's hand, face lifting toward the sound. Guards opened the doors like they meant it, service, not suspicion, holding them for as long as needed. The sun slid toward evening, washing the lot in peach and gold. Applause traveled with them, a tide that didn't recede. Feels like a movie ending, Kayla grinned, clutching bags. Dana let herself smile, thinking of fear, betrayal, courage, and the stubborn, ordinary work of telling the truth until it sticks. She pictured Mia, bruised but already building her next exposé. Tiana, editing, annotating, uploading with relentless precision. Families refreshing docket pages for the first hopeful updates in years. This fight isn't over, Dana said, pulling Kayla close. But today, we won. The pendant's silver wings flashed, catching sun, catching breath. That night, Mia's byline crowned a front-page investigation, the first in a series. The piece braided boardroom emails, patrol logs, probation invoices, and first-hand accounts. It named names with restraint and receipts. The paper crashed under traffic, resurrected, crashed again. A headline turned into a reckoning in real time. Meanwhile, the state unspooled its own thread. Warrants widened, servers mirrored, accounts frozen. Judge Harrison took leave. Councilman Peters issued a statement insisting misunderstanding, while counsel drafted something less imaginative. Greenwood Holdings went quiet, then hired crisis firms with glossy websites and brittle smiles that said nothing. Dana met with Walsh's team for hours, walking them through procedure, policy cliffs, and choke points where discretion calcified into discrimination. Fix requires codifying the obvious, Walsh said. No quotas, camera audits, discretion logs, independent oversight with teeth. And sunlight, Dana added. Lots of sunlight. In the precinct, some badges went cold when Dana passed. Others warmed. Chin and Rodriguez nodded openly. Others nodded after checking who watched. Hale kept his distance, lawyer at his side now. Internal Affairs scheduled and rescheduled interviews. Dana sat, answered, and recorded everything herself, a parallel archive. The coalition opened pop-up legal clinics, halls filling with people bringing citations, payment plans, monitoring invoices, bruised wrists, and heavy stories. Pro bono teams triaged pleas. I thought nobody would ever believe me, one mother said, weeping quietly. I do, a law student replied, placing a form gently. The mayor tried a press conference. Questions came sharpened by documents. He retreated behind ongoing investigation and deep concern. It sounded like a resignation letter rehearsing itself. A week later, he stepped down for family reasons. The city clerk read it without inflection. Protesters hummed approval and kept organizing. Dana visited Mia again. Color returned to her face. Stitches dissolved. You writing already? Dana asked, smiling. Typing one-handed is a talent, Mia said, tapping the keyboard. Editors say I'm unbearable. They're right. She handed Dana a printout, Chapter 2's outline. They built an empire on other people's fines. We'll pry up every plank, Dana said. We'll also install guardrails. Mia nodded. Policy series is lined up. Public records tutorials too. People should know how to pull their own thread. Teach them, Dana said, warmth pulling at her mouth. Then hand them the scissors. They laughed, then breathed together. Tiana's channel soared. Subscribers multiplying. Partnerships forming. She launched a series, Pattern Recognition, clipping Raines's repeats frame by frame. She credited sources, cited statutes, educated with heart and edge. In comments, kids wrote, I showed my civics class. My dad cried. I'm not crazy. Thank you. At a neighborhood gymnasium, Dana addressed a crowd. Parents, elders, nurses, students, cooks, cashiers. This doesn't end with headlines, she said. It ends with policy written so precisely, it can't be bent into a cage. A cheer rose, not loud but sturdy. It sounded like a foundation being poured. Night. Dana returned to her living room. The badge caught table lamp glow. She turned it over in her hand. It had weighed differently lately, not heavier, truer. She placed it beside a fresh notebook labeled Reforms. Page 1, Cameras, Data Trails, Discretion Audits, Community Oversight, Protections for Whistleblowers. She texted Kayla a photo of the pendant on her nightstand. Kayla replied immediately, "It's perfect. So are you." Dana typed back, "Imperfect and determined." Kayla sent a selfie grinning wide, silver wings catching light. Dana saved it. She slept with the window cracked, listening to a quieter street. The next morning, Walsh's office announced charges. RICO statutes floated alongside civil rights violations and fraud. Reporters called. Dana declined, citing work over spectacle. "One interview," Mia teased, "when this phase lands." "When policy is signed," Dana corrected. "Then I'll talk." "Deal," Mia said. Deadline laughed somewhere in the background. In council chambers, newly appointed members drafted ordinances, prohibitions on quota talk disguised as productivity, mandatory public release of anonymized stop data, independent data custodians for body cam archives, and sanctions for evidence suppression. Audits would be routine, not rare. Appeals would be accessible, not aspirational. Dana sat in the back row, arms folded, listening, suggesting quietly when asked. Her voice carried weight now, but she wielded it with care, refusing to dominate spaces built to include. Outside, a group of teens chalked the steps. "Not one more." Their letters curled, imperfect and defiant, drying in sun. A week later, the boutique reopened under interim leadership, trained by a coalition consultant. Signs read, "Dignity is policy." Employees practiced conflict de-escalation drills, reviewed bias modules, and posted a QR code leading to complaint portals managed by external reviewers. Profit married to accountability finally, under bright lights. Dana returned with Kayla to pick up a resized chain. A clerk scanned the tag. "No charge," she said, crisp but kind. "We messed up. We fix it." Outside, a boy handed Dana a drawing of a badge wrapped in ivy. "It means strong and growing," he said. Dana swallowed and thanked him. That afternoon, the first wrongful plea was vacated. Others queued behind it, calendar swelling like a tide table. A judge, newly assigned, spoke carefully from the bench about remedying harm and restoring faith. People wept. Some laughed, sharp and shocked by joy. Dana sat quietly, hands folded, letting it wash. On a late walk, Dana passed Crystal's storefront. Her reflection met her, the same face, newer resolve. The glass remembered, so did she. Tomorrow, training. Next week, policy sessions. Next month, audits. She could finally see farther than a crisis horizon. It looked like a city learning a better language. "Proud of you," a voice said. Carmen appeared at her side, carrying takeout, hair windblown. "Hungry?" "Starving," Dana admitted. They ate on the steps, laughing about nothing important. "We'll sew the rest of it into the ground," Carmen said around noodles, "and build something saner in the space we clear." 3 days after the council votes, Greenwood Mall resembled a real marketplace again. Fewer shadows, more sunlight. Families lingered by the fountain. The pretzel stand smelled like cinnamon, not fear. Dana walked slowly, the cadence of her steps matching a place that finally felt like a community and not a trap. Near the entrance, a bulletin board displayed resources, legal aid contacts, reporting portals, know your rights flyers. "Keep this up even when the cameras leave," Dana told the new manager. "Especially then." He nodded, jaw set. "We will." She believed him, not blindly, but with the kind of cautious faith earned by work. Kayla bounded up, necklace flashing. "Civics teacher asked me to talk about you," she said. "I told her about us." Dana laughed. "What did you say?" "That heroes are tired people who keep showing up." "Accurate," Dana said. They high-fived, then walked to the car, strength braided through ordinary conversation. At home, Dana opened her notebook. New pages filled, whistleblower guarantees, multilingual complaint forms, bus stop posters, data dashboards legible to humans. She called Tiana to check on editing. Video 3 drops tomorrow, Tiana said. It's the training one. We included your knees shaking line. Good, Dana said, smiling. Later, she reviewed body cam audit proposals. Algorithms flagged for bias, but with human review loops. No black box alone, she wrote. Sunlight and context. She emailed Walsh's team. Make public comment, digestible, not performative. She closed the laptop and stood at the window, city lights blinking like reasonable stars. Saturday brought a community potluck in the park. Someone saved Dana a folding chair she never used. She floated, hugged, thanked, asked, listened. A retired officer told her, "We forgot who we work for." "Then remember with me," she said. He nodded, eyes wet, and signed up for oversight duty graciously. News choppers were gone. Local cameras, too. People still came, without spectacle, to tell truths and demand better. The work shrank in scale and grew in depth. Dana preferred it that way. She carved a piece of peach cobbler, finally ate seated, and let quiet conversations braid into a soft, persistent chorus. Near twilight, Mia arrived with her sling gone. Applause scattered, unscripted. "Stop," Mia laughed, blushing. "I just typed." "You bled ink and courage," Dana said. "We all did," Mia replied. They bumped shoulders. Chapter 3. "Tomorrow," Mia said. "Greenwood's offshore treehouse." They grinned. Deadline stretched, obligingly elastic. Walsh texted Dana a photo. Rows of seized servers boxed and labeled. "Chain of custody. Airtight," the caption read. Dana sent back a thumbs up and a single word. Forward. She didn't need fanfare. She needed momentum and maintenance. Boring words that kept people out of handcuffs and back with their families. That night, Dana finished a lecture draft for the academy. Ethics is not an elective. She wrote, "We aren't just permitted to intervene, we're obligated." She inserted case studies, including her own, stripped of names but not truth. She imagined recruits shifting in chairs, recognizing choices as bright and binding. Kayla wandered in, pajama-clad, and flopped on the couch. "What are you writing?" "Homework for grown-ups," Dana said. "Can I read?" "You can help," Dana offered. Kayla suggested a title. "Courage is contagious." They left it in the margin, a note to consider. Donna underlined it once, smiling to herself. On Monday, the academy auditorium filled. Dana spoke plainly about power, discretion, and how tiny decisions metastasize. She talked about receipts, about refusing to falsify a line because it's easier. She didn't glamorize, didn't scold. She invited them into a harder, better craft. When she finished, hands rose. Questions landed heavy, hopeful. What if the sergeant pressures us? Document and escalate. What if the culture laughs? Be the first not laughing. She gave them a list. Contacts, ombuds, coalition liaisons. Outside, a recruit stopped her. "My mom was targeted at that mall," he said. "Thank you." After Dana walked alone across the plaza, the city ringing with ordinary noise, buses sighing, kids arguing cheerfully, a dog insisting on one more block. She let her shoulders drop. She had things left to fix, but not alone. The badge in her pocket felt like a promise kept upright. Evening stretched soft. On her porch, Dana unboxed the boutique's small gift, a tiny silver charm shaped like a shield, delicate but stubborn. She added it to Kayla's necklace chain, then texted a photo. Kayla replied with 16 exclamation points. Dana laughed out loud for the first time in weeks. She thought of everyone who'd stacked courage on courage. Mia, Kayla, Tiana, Chen, Rodriguez, the elder in the cap, the man with shaky hands, the suit who said thank you, the cashier who said we fix it. We fix it, Dana repeated softly. The words fit. The work, blessedly, continued. If you felt this story, share it. Subscribe so you don't miss the next chapter. I've picked 2 more for you. Both burn bright. Until then, take care of each other, keep receipts, and keep standing. The silver wings caught one last blink of light and went still, like resolve at rest. Lesson 1. Dignity doesn't retire. Many of us who remember marches, lunch counter sit-ins, and black and white TV also know how humiliation can arrive in broad daylight. Captain Dana Carver wasn't a headline. She was an aunt shopping for a gift when profiling turned a quiet errand into a public shove. Her steady refusal, no cause, no search, wasn't attitude. It was the Constitution talking. Phones up, facts saved, truth preserved. For those of us 65 and up, this echoes an old lesson. When your knees shake, stand anyway. Rights don't expire, and courage is contagious, especially when a teenager with a camera, a nurse with a statement, and a journalist with receipts refuse to blink. Lesson 2. Real change takes a choir, not a solo. What toppled the scheme at Greenwood wasn't one speech, it was a chorus. A reporter named Mia bled for the story. A teen named Tiana posted the full video. A straight arrow state attorney followed the money, and neighbors showed up with affidavits, not rumors. The result? Quotas exposed, probation grifts unmasked, pleas revisited, and policies rewritten, cameras audited, stop data published, and productivity code words banned. If you've lived long enough to fix leaky roofs and stubborn engines, you know upkeep beats apology. Call the meeting, keep the receipts, teach the grandkids their rights, and don't leave until the paperwork is signed. Friends, after hearing Captain Carver's story, I'd love your wisdom. Where have you personally seen dignity denied and later restored, whether in a store, a courthouse, or a neighborhood meeting? If you were at that mall, what would you have done in the moment? And what reform would you push first? Camera audits, no quota rules, or independent oversight with teeth? Share your town and age if you're comfortable, so others can learn from you. Please tap like, leave a thoughtful comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Your voice helps this community grow and helps the next chapter reach the folks who need it most.